He walked into the airport wearing the uniform he earned in war. And the first thing a white cop yelled was, "Take off that uniform. You don't deserve it." In seconds, the whole crowd watched a black soldier being dragged, humiliated, and accused of stealing valor, until the truth hit harder than their racism ever could. Before we start the story, tell me, where are you watching from? And if these stories speak to you, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Man, the airport was packed. Flags everywhere. Loudspeakers blasting that Happy Independence Day energy like everybody was living in a commercial. But the second Sergeant Major Darius King stepped off that plane in his dress blues, the whole vibe shifted. And it wasn't the uniform. It was the skin wearing it. Darius moved through the terminal, slow and steady. That military walk. Back straight, jaw set, boots clicking like discipline itself. 15 years in, multiple combat tours, medals shining like truth. People should have been saluting him. But this is America, where a black man in a uniform ain't a hero first. He's a question mark. That's when the two airport cops locked onto him, like heat-seeking missiles. Officer Brent Hawkins, young, loud, insecure, the type who thinks a badge makes him 6 feet taller. And his partner, Officer Ray Donnelly, older, but still the kind of dude who'll mind his business even when his business is to stop the bullshit. Hawkins elbowed Donnelly like he found something dirty. "Yo, tell me why this dude looked like he rented that uniform off Amazon." Donnelly's like, "Man, leave it alone. He looks legit." Hawkins smirks. "Yeah? Too legit. That's the problem." Darius passed right by him, didn't even blink, but Hawkins stepped right in front of him like he owned the floor. "Hey, you," Hawkins barked. Whole crowd turned like a movie scene. Darius stopped, cool as ice. "How can I help you, officer?" Hawkins eyed him up and down like he was scanning a fake ID. "Nice costume, man. Little early for Halloween?" Darius kept that soldier calm. "It's not a costume." "Nah," Hawkins snorted. "Ain't no way you earned that uniform. Not you." Darius tried to show respect, even when none was given. "Sir, I'm reaching for my military ID. Slow. Just so we're clear." But Hawkins' hand shot straight to his gun, like that was his first language. People gasped. Phones went up. Livestream buttons got tapped like crazy. "I said do not move." Hawkins barked it so loud the ceiling lights damn near shook. Darius froze in place, hands up slightly, voice steady. "I'm complying, officer." But Hawkins wanted a scene. He grabbed Darius by the collar right there in front of everyone and yanked him forward. "Take off that uniform right now." He screamed in his face. "You didn't earn shit. Stop playing, soldier." The whole airport went silent, like the oxygen left the building. A little black kid stared at Darius with wide eyes, clutching a toy plane, whispering, "Mom, why they yelling at the soldier?" And his mama had no answer, 'cause the truth was too damn ugly to explain in public. Donnelly just watched, useless. Hawkins was breathing heavy, chest puffed, ego bigger than the terminal. And Darius? Man stood tall, calm, dignified, like he was used to surviving things louder than screaming cops. Hawkins shoved him again. "You ain't no soldier. You think you can fool me, huh? Out here trying to get attention?" Darius looked him dead in the eyes. Voice low, real low, the kind of low that hits deeper than yelling. "Officer, I carry dying men on my shoulders in places you couldn't survive 10 minutes. The only fake thing here is the story you're telling yourself." The crowd erupted. Some shouting, some filming closer, some stepping forward. People yelling, "Check his ID! Leave him alone. He's clearly real. Hawkins panicked. Angry dudes hate witnesses. He reached for Darius again, barking, "Turn around, hands behind your back." And at that exact second, Darius saw it. The crowd tensing up, like the whole place was seconds away from blowing open. And that's where the storm really begins. The whole damn terminal felt like it hit pause. People stood frozen, bags in their hands, boarding passes half raised, all staring at one black soldier, being treated like he just tried to hijack the country he bled for. But Darius, man, was built different. He didn't panic, didn't lash out, didn't give these cops the angry black man stereotype they were begging to see. He just stood there with that ice-cold soldier calm, the kind that says, "I've been through hell, and you ain't even close." Hawkins still had a fistful of his uniform collar, knuckles white with ego. His voice cracked as he yelled again, louder this time, like he needed volume to make his lie true. "I said take that damn uniform off. You hear me?" The crowd flinched. Even Donnelly stepped back like, "Yo, this dude's going too far." Darius didn't move. "Sir, let go of my uniform." Hawkins smirked like he was proud of himself. "Or what? You gonna salute me to death?" People in the crowd gasped. A white woman near gate 12 whispered, "Jesus, he's actually serious." A black man holding a suitcase muttered, "This ain't right. This ain't right at all." But Hawkins wasn't listening to anybody. He was too busy performing. He kept shoving Darius in the chest, pushing him back step by step, loud enough for the whole airport to hear. "You think you can fool people dressed like that? Who you trying to impress?" Darius finally broke his silence, but not the way Hawkins expected. "I'm not here to impress anyone," he said, voice low as a warning. "I'm heading home. That's it." "Oh, you heading home?" Hawkins mocked, marching around Darius like a dude in a cheap action movie. "That's cute. So where's your real uniform? The one you bought off eBay?" Someone in the crowd yelled, "Just check his ID." Another yelled, "He looks like a soldier more than you look like a cop." Phones were everywhere now. Dozens. Every angle. Every second. That's when a teenage girl, around 17, shook her head and whispered, "I'm streaming this." Her phone went live with a single tap. 2,100 watchers. Then 8,400. Then 17,000. The numbers jumped like a rocket. People online started spamming the chat. "What the f*** is this? That uniform is real. Cop is mad racist. He's calm AF. That's a soldier." Hawkins noticed the phones. You could see it in his eyes. That insecure rage boiling. The kind of anger that comes from being exposed. He pointed at the bystanders recording. "Put those phones down. Now!" Someone shouted back, "Hell no!" Donnelly gently stepped toward Hawkins. "Brent, man, calm down. We're in the middle of a crowd." "I don't care," Hawkins snapped. "He's resisting." Darius's eyebrows lifted, confused but still controlled. "Resisting? Bro, I'm literally standing still." Hawkins shoved him again, harder this time, enough that Darius had to plant his boot to keep from falling. And the airport? It damn near exploded. A couple people rushed forward, shouting, "Hey, back off him! You can't do that! He's not resisting, you psycho!" Hawkins reached for his cuffs. Lights reflected off the metal, bright and cold. "That's it," he grinned. "You're done. Hands behind your back." But Darius didn't move. Not out of stubbornness, but because this moment, this exact second, felt like a line being drawn in front of God and cameras both. He looked Hawkins dead in the face, calm, unshaken, unapologetic. You really want to put cuffs on a U.S. Army Sergeant Major because you don't like how I look in a uniform? Hell yeah, Hawkins spit back, because you ain't one. The crowd roared. He is one. Show your papers. He got medals on his chest. Someone else screamed, "You're embarrassing this whole damn country." Donnelly finally tried to intervene, weakly. "Brent, maybe we should just run his name." "Shut up, Donnelly," Hawkins barked, eyes glued on Darius. "This clown ain't military, and I know a fake when I see one." "That's funny," Darius replied, "because I'm looking at one." The crowd oh'd, loud enough to shake the terminal. Hawkins lunged forward like he wanted a fight, but before he could touch Darius again, a voice broke through the noise. A deep, tired, older voice. "Don't put your damn hands on him." Everyone turned. An older white man with a weathered army cap stepped out of the crowd. Lieutenant Colonel Ethan Cole, retired, walking slow but sure, back straight as a flagpole, medals stitched on his faded jacket. He locked eyes with Darius, lifted his trembling hand, and saluted him. The entire airport froze. You could hear a pin drop. Even Hawkins blinked like reality slapped him across the face. The old man's voice echoed across the terminal. "That man, right there, served this country with honor. More honor than you'll see in your lifetime, son." The live stream blew up. 70,000, 120,000, 360,000, 540,000. People across the country watched Hawkins' racism crumble in real time. Darius didn't smile, didn't smirk. He just nodded back at the old vet with respect, calm as sunrise. And Hawkins, his face went pale, his grip loosened, his ego started collapsing in front of millions. As Hawkins, embarrassed and burning, reached for his radio, and the entire crowd took one slow, dangerous step closer. For a split second, the whole damn airport felt like it forgot how to breathe. Hawkins was frozen, radio halfway to his mouth, eyes bouncing between Darius and the older vet like he'd just seen a ghost wearing medals. And it wasn't the salute that shook him, it was the respect behind it. The kind only real soldiers give to men who earned it. Lieutenant Colonel Ethan Cole kept his hand up, the salute steady, firm, old bones locked in tradition. The kind of tradition Hawkins couldn't fake, even if he stole every uniform in the army. Darius slowly returned the salute, clean and sharp, a move so smooth the entire crowd murmured like they were watching a scene from a war movie. That's when Hawkins' ego snapped back into place like a broken bone. "Oh, hell no," he growled, stepping forward. "This old dude ain't deciding who's real and who ain't. You," he jabbed a finger at Cole, "get back before I cite you for interfering." Cole didn't move, didn't even blink. "I fought in places your GPS don't even recognize," Cole said, voice gravel deep. "I know a soldier when I see one, and I know a coward too." Crowd, "Damn, tell him, Cole cooking his ass." Hawkins' ears turned red. "Shut up, all of you. Nobody asked the damn audience." But he messed up, big time. Because while he was screaming at the crowd, the live stream number on the teen girl's phone shot past 700,000 and flipped into live trending across the country. Comments flooding. Airport cop losing his mind. Darius King is a decorated soldier. Look him up. This is racism live. Where the hell is airport security? Colonel Cole a real one. And the algorithm didn't just push the stream. It threw gasoline on it. People duetting it, reacting, stitching it, screaming at their screens. Hashtags popping left and right. Hashtag let him go. Respect our soldiers. Hashtag racist cop Hawkins. Hashtag Darius King. Hashtag airport racism. Hawkins didn't know it yet, but he had gone nationwide. But Darius saw it. He could feel the attention gathering like a storm behind him. His soldier instincts kicked in, not the combat part, the leadership part. He raised his voice just enough for the crowd to hear. Everybody, stay calm. Don't step too close. Nobody needs to get hurt here. Even while being humiliated, even with a cop's handprint still on his uniform, Darius was still protecting people who didn't even know his name. That's what shook Donnelly. He took a small step toward Hawkins. "Brent, man, look around. This ain't going right. Just check his damn ID." Hawkins turned on him like a pit bull. "I said he's fake, and you ain't questioning me on my own shift." Donnelly hesitated, but didn't push further. He looked down, like he was ashamed of his own shadow. Hawkins shoved past him and got in Darius's face again. "You think this crowd gonna save you?" he hissed. "You think some old wannabe vet making a salute changes shit?" Darius didn't move, didn't flinch, didn't break. It made Hawkins even angrier. "You know why I know you ain't real?" Hawkins asked. "Because a real soldier would know better than to walk up in here trying to show off." Cole interrupted him, voice booming. "He's coming home, you idiot!" The crowd cheered. Hawkins looked stunned, like the truth cracked through his skull for half a second, then ego patched it back up again. He pointed at Darius's medals. "These? Fake, you hear me? Fake! I bet half of them don't even exist." Darius clenched his jaw, not in anger, in heartbreak. He whispered, "Those medals were pinned on my chest after I watched men die." Hawkins laughed, a short, ugly laugh. The kind racist people do when they know they're wrong, but would rather choke than admit it. "Oh yeah? Prove it! Prove it!" He jabbed a finger into one of the ribbons. Cole snapped. "That's enough! Don't you touch his service ribbons, boy!" Hawkins spun on him. "You better back off before I lock your wrinkled ass up too." And that's when the airport truly turned. A Latina mom yelled, "We're recording everything!" A black man yelled, "You're racist as hell!" A white teenager yelled, "Just check his ID, dumbass!" A group of young dudes stepped forward like a wall. Nobody touched anyone, but the energy, it shifted. Hawkins felt it. Donnelly felt it. Everybody felt it. This wasn't a crowd anymore. This was a public verdict forming in real time. Hawkins' radio suddenly buzzed. He grabbed it fast, trying to look important. "Dispatch, this is Officer Hawkins. I need backup for a..." The dispatcher cut him off, loud and sharp. "Backup? The entire airport is calling about you, Hawkins. The entire crowd." "Oh." Hawkins blinked hard. What the hell does that mean?" The dispatcher's voice carried across the speaker loud enough for everyone to hear. "We have multiple reports of you harassing a soldier returning from deployment. Stand by." Hawkins' soul left his body for a second. People started cheering. The live stream exploded. Someone yelled, "You're done, bro." But Hawkins was too far gone. He pointed at Darius again, hands shaking with rage. "I'm not done with you." Darius didn't blink. Not once. He simply said, "You already lost, and you don't even know it yet." Crowd, "Damn." And right there, right in that quiet second, before Hawkins could say another word, a line of airport supervisors and security officers came running toward them. Faces tight, radios out. Authority real this time, and the first supervisor shouted, "Officer Hawkins, step away from the sergeant, now." The crowd went wild, and that's where part 3 ends. As Hawkins' face turns white, his badge suddenly feeling a whole lot lighter, and his career hanging by a thread in front of 1,000 witnesses. The second those airport supervisors showed up, the whole crowd surged forward. Not touching, not pushing, just stepping closer, like every pair of eyes in that terminal suddenly wanted front row seats to Hawkins' downfall. the lead supervisor, a tall black woman with her ID swinging on a lanyard, marched straight up like she had fire in her veins. Her name tag said J. Andrews, but the way she carried herself made ma'am feel more appropriate. She planted herself between Hawkins and Darius and snapped, "Officer Hawkins, step back. Now means now." Hawkins froze like he didn't understand English, like nobody had ever spoken to him like that before. I'm handling the situation," he stammered. "He's impersonating." Andrews cut him off so fast he almost swallowed his tongue. "Don't finish that sentence unless you want to sound even dumber." The crowd howled. People clapped. Some woman near gate 14 yelled, "Yeah, read him!" Hawkins turned beet red, veins sticking out his neck. He jabbed a finger toward Darius, voice shaky and loud. "He ain't real. He's fake. His uniform's fake. His medals are fake. His ID is fake. Everything about him is enough," Andrews said, holding up a hand like a stop sign he couldn't ignore. "You put your hands on a soldier returning from deployment while half the country watched you do it. You know how many calls we just got on you?" Donnelly swallowed hard. He grabbed him real hard, Andrews." Crowd, "So you did see it. Finally he speaks. You let him do all that, though?" Donnelly shrunk into himself. Hawkins flared up again. "That's my partner, not yours. Stay out of this." Andrews stepped so close her forehead was damn near touching his. "He ain't your partner anymore. You dragged him down with you the second you decided this man," she pointed at Darius's chest, "didn't deserve the uniform he bled for." Hawkins opened his mouth to snap back, but someone from behind Andrews shouted, "We verified his name." Heads turned. A security officer rushed over, tablet in hand, panting like he sprinted from the other side of the airport. "We ran his credentials. Ran them twice. He is Sergeant Major Darius Elijah King, United States Army, Special Operations Medic, deployed 3 times, 2 Purple Hearts, Bronze Star for Valor." The crowd went silent. Then, "Oh my God. Holy shit. Bro, he's a hero." Someone dropped their luggage from shock. A kid whispered, "Mama, he's real. He's really real." And Hawkins, his face looked like somebody unplugged his soul. No, that's not possible," he stuttered, stepping back. "This system must be wrong. It's glitching. It's glitching?" Andrews barked. "You think the database is broken because the soldier you racially profiled is actually real?" Donnelly suddenly looked sick. Brent, maybe we should shut up, Donnelly," Hawkins screamed, voice cracking like a busted speaker. He pointed wildly at Darius. "He no soldier. Soldiers don't look like—" He stopped, but it was too late. The whole airport heard what he almost said, what he wanted to say. Crowd voices erupted. "Like what? Say it. Like what, Hawkins? You mean black? Just say black, you coward. You racist tease of—" Andrews raised a hand to quiet them, but even she looked like she wanted to swing on him. Darius finally spoke, voice calm but heavy like gravity. "You were about to say soldiers don't look like me, weren't you?" Hawkins shook his head hard, but the lie wasn't even convincing him. No, I didn't say that. I didn't." "But you meant it," Darius said. Low, quiet, dead honest. That silence hit harder than any shout. Hawkins's hands trembled as he waved his radio in the air. "This is a setup. Y'all trying to make me look racist. This is reverse." The crowd screamed in laughter, like actual screaming. "Nothing reverse about this, bitch. You caught in 4K and 700K viewers. Call your mama and tell her you lost your job." A teenage girl holding the live stream jumped and yelled, "We just hit 800,000. Her phone screen glowed bright, 812,700 watching live. Hawkins' career wasn't dying. It was evaporating. Right there, right then, live, worldwide. He snapped, completely. "Turn that fucking camera off," he yelled, lunging. Darius stepped between Hawkins and the teen, like a wall of muscle and discipline. "Touch her," he said, "and you'll regret it in ways no badge can protect you from." Hawkins froze again, because in that moment, he realized something. Darius wasn't scared of him. Never was. Never would be. Not now, not in uniform, not ever. Andrews finally took control. "Officer Hawkins, hand me your badge." The crowd lost it. Gasps. Cheers. People yelling, "Bye, racist! Get his ass out of here! Should have done that 20 minutes ago! Bye-bye, badge boy!" Hawkins shook his head, voice breaking. "No, no, no, no. You can't do that. He's lying. They're lying. This is all a stunt." Andrews didn't blink. "I'm not asking again." Hawkins' hand trembled violently as he reached for his badge. His fingers brushed the metal. His pride shattered. His career bled out on the floor. Darius stood silent, watching him like a disappointed ghost. And finally, Hawkins ripped the badge off his chest and slammed it into Andrews' hand. "I hope you all burn," he screamed. Security officers immediately grabbed his arms and dragged him back. He kicked. He fought. He howled. "Let go of me! He's a fake! He's a lying piece of—" But nobody heard the rest, because the entire terminal erupted in cheers so loud they drowned out his career, dying in real time. And as Hawkins was taken away, handcuffs clinking, face red with rage, Darius just stood there. Not triumphant, not smug, not proud. Just tired. So damn tired. And while the crowd celebrated, someone else started walking toward him. A woman. Smart suit. Folder in her hand. Eyes sharp as a blade. Attorney Marissa Hale. The civil rights lawyer who was about to change everything. She stood right in front of Darius and said, "You ready to bring the whole damn system down?" For a moment, the whole terminal buzzed like an electric hive, people cheering, laughing, recording, still processing the fact that a racist cop just got his badge snatched in front of 800,000 live viewers and half the damn airport. But Darius? He wasn't cheering. He wasn't celebrating. He just stood there in that uniform, collar wrinkled from Hawkins' grip, metal slightly bent, pride still untouched. And that's when she stepped forward. Marissa Hale, civil rights attorney, black woman, sharp jawline, sharper eyes, and the kind of suit that screams, "I win cases before I even speak." She walked straight up to Darius, ignoring the cameras, ignoring the chaos, ignoring the supervisors. She extended a card like she was offering a weapon in a war he didn't start. "You don't know me," she said, "but I know exactly what just happened." Darius stayed calm. "And you are?" She smirked. "Your worst nightmare if you're a racist cop. Your best ally if you're a black man wronged in public." The crowd murmured, the energy shifting again, leaning toward justice now instead of rage. Darius took the card, glanced at the gold lettering, and said, "Attorney Hale, what makes you think I need a lawyer?" "Oh, trust me," she said, lowering her voice. "You don't just need a lawyer. You need a damn army. Because what Hawkins did wasn't just profiling, it was assault, harassment, humiliation. And the department is going to scramble to cover their asses before the media eats them alive." She leaned closer. "And you, sir, you are about to become a very big problem for them." Before Darius could respond, someone shouted from the side, "Oh my God, it just hit 1 million." The teen with the livestream phone spun around, face completely pale from shock. 1,004,600 people watching live, flashing across her screen. The entire airport gasped. People weren't just watching the incident anymore. They were watching the fallout. Hawkins being dragged into a side hallway by two security officers didn't help. The dude looked like a wild animal fighting the air. "Let go of me. He's a fraud. This is a setup. You'll all lose your jobs. This is reverse." And then the door slammed behind him. Silence swallowed his screaming. Someone from the crowd yelled, "Reverse racism ain't real, dumbass." Everyone burst into laughter. But the laughter stopped fast, because the media showed up like wolves catching the scent of blood. News cameras rolled in from every direction. Microphones raised. Lights flicked on. Security shouted for everyone to step back. But reporters were already pushing through the crowd. Is it true he's a real soldier? What happened before the stream started? Do you plan on pressing charges? Sergeant, how do you feel right now? Was this racial profiling? Darius lifted his hands slightly. Trained calm. Trained leadership. Trained control. One question at a time, he said. But they weren't listening. Reporters shoved mics into his chest like his dignity was a prop. Andrews tried to block them. "Back up! Everyone back up! It's a crime scene review active!" But they didn't care. The story was too hot. Then Marissa Hale stepped between Darius and the cameras like a shield wrapped in authority. "No more questions," she snapped. "Sergeant King will not be getting statements at this time." One reporter shouted, "Why not?" Marissa tilted her head like the answer was obvious. "Because y'all don't get to eat off his pain until we file the lawsuit." The airport shook. People in the crowd yelled, "Let him sue them! Get that bag, soldier! Make them pay! All of them!" Darius finally spoke, low and steady. "I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing it so no one wearing this uniform gets treated like that again." The reporter frenzy doubled. His voice was everywhere, on 50 phones, 20 cameras, hundreds of live streams. But right then, the airport PA system chimed. A robotic voice echoed through the terminal. "Attention, all officers report to command. Immediate." Everyone turned. Andrew's radio buzzed fast. She listened. Her face dropped like the ground fell out from under her. She looked at Darius with a mix of shock and disbelief. "Sergeant, you're not going to believe this." Darius frowned. "What now?" She swallowed. "The Pentagon just called the airport. They want a full report on what happened." The crowd hollered. "Aw, hell no! The Pentagon? Bro, you done fucked up, Hawkins. This just went federal." Donnelly looked like he was about to faint. Marissa's eyes gleamed like a lion who smelled victory. "Oh, this is better than a lawsuit," she muttered. Darius took a deep breath. He looked exhausted. Not angry, not emotional, just tired of being black in a uniform. "Great," he said quietly. "Another battlefield." Marissa stepped closer. "You ready for war, Sergeant?" Darius stared straight ahead, jaw tightening, voice steady. "I've been ready my whole life." And just as he said that, a group of federal agents walked into the terminal. Suits, badges, serious faces. Head agent raised his voice. "Sergeant Major King, we need to speak with you immediately." The crowd gasped again. Hale folded her arms. "Now this," she whispered, "is about to get interesting." As federal agents close in, cameras zoom tighter, and the entire nation waits to see what happens next. The whole airport went dead quiet when those federal agents stepped into the terminal. The type of silence that hits when everybody suddenly realizes the situation ain't local cop big anymore. 3 men in dark suits, badges clipped to their belts, walked like they weren't just entering a building. They were entering a crime scene. The lead agent locked eyes with Darius immediately. "Sergeant Major King," he said, voice low and commanding, "we need you to come with us. Now." The crowd gasped. A dude in the back yelled, "Bro, what?" And a woman clapped a hand over her mouth. "Don't tell me they're arresting him." Marissa Hale stepped in front of Darius instantly, chin lifted like a blade. "Hold your horses," she said. "He's not going anywhere until you tell me exactly who you are and what this is about." The lead agent didn't flinch. He held up his badge just long enough for the cameras to see the federal seal. Special Agent Rowan, Department of Defense Liaison. "And we're not arresting him, Miss Hale." Relief washed over the crowd. Then Agent Rowan added, "We're removing him from this circus before something worse happens." Darius raised an eyebrow. "That a protective detail, Agent?" Rowan hesitated a split second too long. "It's a precaution." Darius caught that. Marissa caught it faster. "Precaution from what?" she asked. Rowan glanced around the chaos, the cameras, the angry onlookers, the security scrambling, the whispers, the phones, the broken pride of a humiliated cop echoing from somewhere backstage. Then he lowered his voice. "Because right now, Sergeant King, the entire country is watching this airport. And the Pentagon wants you off the public floor before anyone tries to turn this into a political battleground." Before Darius could respond, another voice cut them off. "Ignore the man in the suit." Lieutenant Colonel Ethan Cole pushed through the crowd, moving slow but determined, ignoring the shocked murmurs around him. "You boys from the Pentagon only show up when the media gets loud, not when a man's dignity gets stepped on," Cole growled. Agent Rowan stiffened. "Colonel Cole, with all due respect—" "You don't get to with all due respect me," Cole snapped back. "You weren't here when that rookie grabbed this man by the uniform he earned with blood and bone." The crowd clapped. Someone shouted, "Facts!" Another yelled, "Let the colonel talk!" Cole pointed at Darius. "That man is a soldier, a real one. Not a headline, not a trending topic, not your little PR cleanup project." Rowan clenched his jaw, but he didn't argue. Meanwhile, Donnelly, Hawkins' cowardly partner, stood off to the side like he was shrinking into his own body. He rubbed his hands together nervously, eyes darting everywhere except Darius's face. Marissa zeroed in on him. "You gonna say something, Officer Donnelly?" Her voice was calm, but that calm felt like a courtroom about to explode. Donnelly swallowed. I didn't mean for it to go that far. Hawkins, he gets in my head, you know?" "Doesn't answer the question," Marissa fired back. "You watched him assault a soldier, not a criminal, a soldier, and you said nothing." Donnelly winced, like the truth physically hurt him. The crowd started turning. "You let it happen. Say something, man. You just stood there." Donnelly's voice cracked. "I didn't want to lose my job. That line right there? Bad move. Because a woman in the crowd screamed, 'He almost lost his life. You worried about your paycheck?' The entire place erupted. Agent Rowan stepped in, voice sharp like a gavel. "Enough! Everyone back up!" But nobody backed up. This wasn't just a scandal anymore. This was a public reckoning. Rowan turned to Darius again. "We need to de-escalate this. Please, come with us." Darius looked around. The crowd, the cameras, the anger, the fear, the support, everything. Then he turned to Marissa. "You think I should go?" She nodded slowly. "Yes, but you're not going alone." Cole stepped forward. "You're damn right he ain't going alone. I'm coming." Rowan sighed. "Fine. No," Marissa snapped. "He said we're all coming. Him," she pointed at Cole, "and me. And if you try to separate us, I file obstruction charges so fast your badge will melt." Crowd. "Marissa for president!" Rowan inhaled deeply. "All right, let's move." They started walking. Darius, Marissa, Cole, the agents, through the terminal, past the staring travelers, past security tape, past stunned employees. But as they passed the hallway Hawkins had been dragged into, the door suddenly slammed open. There he was, Hawkins, red-faced, sweaty, screaming, handcuffed to a metal bench. He kicked at the wall, spit flying, hair sticking to his forehead. When he saw Darius, he exploded. "You think this is over?" he shrieked. "You think you won? You ruined my life." Darius stopped walking, just for a moment. He didn't respond, didn't give him a word, didn't give him satisfaction. Hawkins screamed louder. "Look at me! Look at me when I'm talking to you!" And for the first time all day, Darius looked him dead in the eyes. The whole hallway froze. "You did that to yourself," Darius said softly. Hawkins howled like an animal. "No, you did this. You and your fake uniform and your fake—" A federal agent shut the door on him mid-scream. Silence. Cold, thick, heavy silence. Rowan nodded toward the secured wing. "Sergeant King, the Pentagon is waiting." And as they walked into that hallway, phones in the terminal lit up. Because the live stream hit 1,400,000 live viewers. The whole nation wasn't just watching. They were choosing sides. And the military was about to choose theirs. They took Darius down a restricted hallway, the kind where the paint looks too clean, the lights too white, the silence too sharp. Every step echoed, like he was walking straight into another war zone. Agent Rowan pushed through double doors that hissed open like some sci-fi bunker. Inside, a long conference room filled with military personnel in uniform. Federal analysts tapping on laptops. Big screens showing the live stream that had now hit 1,890,000 watching live. The entire nation was glued to this room. As soon as Darius walked in, every head turned, not in suspicion, not in confusion, but in respect they should have shown hours ago. A woman in a crisp uniform stepped forward. Colonel Dana Reeves, sharp eyes, tight bun, medals lined like a resume of survival. She saluted him. "Sergeant Major King, we've been trying to reach you since this morning's flight landed." Darius returned the salute, slow and steady. "Didn't exactly have time to check my messages, ma'am." A few officers exchanged guilty looks. Because, yeah, they saw the footage too. Reeves nodded toward a table. "Have a seat. We need to debrief." Marissa Hale slid into the seat right next to Darius like she owned the place. Lieutenant Colonel Cole sat on the other side, arms crossed, eyes sharp enough to cut steel. Darius? He stayed upright, posture perfect, eyes calm, soldier mode active. Rowan cleared his throat. "First, Sergeant, we want to apologize." Marissa raised a hand. "Nope, we're not accepting pre-written, whitewashed apologies right now." Crowd tension in the room ticked up like a thermometer inside a furnace. Reeves exhaled. "Fair enough, let's cut straight to it." She tapped a remote. A giant screen lit up with paused footage of Hawkins screaming in Darius's face. "Take off that uniform right now!" The audio echoed through the room. Even the military officers flinched. Reeves pressed a button. The footage played. The assault, the yelling, the grabbing, the humiliation. Every second of racism on full display. Nobody spoke. When the video ended, Reeves turned toward Darius. "This is unacceptable. This is a stain on every uniform in this building." Darius didn't say a word. Not yet. Rowan rubbed his face like he was embarrassed for the whole country. "We've got senators calling. The Secretary of Defense called twice. The White House requested a preliminary report an hour ago." Cole snorted. Funny how fast they move when a camera's pointed at them. One of the federal analysts chimed in nervously. "The live stream is still climbing. It's at 2 million now. People are calling for full disciplinary action. Some want the entire airport police force investigated. Marissa leaned back in her chair. Good. Let them panic. Let every racist in uniform feel a little scared today. The room went quiet for a beat. Then Reeves said something nobody expected. Sergeant King, you saved soldiers overseas. You patched wounds under fire. You carried men who didn't make it home. This country owes you better than what that officer did. Darius finally spoke. His voice wasn't angry, it wasn't loud, it was controlled, and that made it hit like a punch. Ma'am, do you know how many times this happened to me out of uniform? The room went still. How many times a cop assumed the worst? How many times someone doubted I belong somewhere? How many times I got treated like a threat instead of a citizen? A slow, heavy breath left him. This ain't new to me. It's just the first time the world watched. Even Reeves looked shaken. Before she could respond, an aide rushed in, pale as paper. Ma'am, you need to see this. He handed her a tablet. She glanced down. Her eyes went wide. Holy Sergeant King, your name is trending worldwide. Not just the US, every continent. She turned the tablet to show them. Hashtag respect Darius King. Hashtag soldier not suspect. Hashtag uniform not target. Millions of posts. Millions of voices. Cole slapped the table lightly and grinned. World finally seeing what we've been saying for decades. Rowan looked stressed. Reeves looked thoughtful. Marissa looked ready to sue someone into oblivion. Then the door burst open again. Another officer rushing in. Ma'am, Officer Hawkins, he swallowed hard, has escaped custody. The room exploded. What? How? Where? Is he armed? The officer stammered. He broke the bench chain. He overpowered a guard. He's somewhere in the airport. And he's screaming about finishing what he started. The entire room froze. Marissa stood so fast her chair slid back. You lost him? She yelled. How the hell do you lose a man who was handcuffed? Rowan grabbed his radio. Lock down the concourse, now. Reeves looked straight at Darius. Sergeant, stay behind us. But Darius shook his head. No, this man grabbed me, humiliated me, threatened me, and now he's running loose in a building full of civilians? His jaw clenched. I'm not hiding while he's out there. Cole nodded proudly. That's a soldier right there. Marissa groaned. Darius, you are not confronting this man. But before anyone could argue, a loud noise echoed through the vent system. A bang, metal hitting metal. A scream outside the room. Running footsteps. Hawkins was close, too close. Darius stood up straight. Looks like he's coming to me. Everyone turned toward the door as shadows moved under it. The air changed before the danger even arrived. Heavy, thick, buzzing like static before a lightning strike. Everyone in the room froze. Agent Rowan raised his fist to signal silence. Marissa slowly backed away from the door. Cole moved in front of her like instinct. Darius didn't move at all. He just stood still, breathing slow, eyes locked on the doorway, like a soldier who'd smelled danger for years and never forgot how it felt coming. Another bang. This one, louder. A scream echoed down the hallway. A terrified airport employee sprinting past the room. He's coming! He's got a weapon! Chaos erupted. Agents drew their sidearms. Officers shouted into radios. Someone slammed the emergency lockdown button. The entire building suddenly shifted from normal to alert mode. Metal shutters sliding over storefronts. Alarms humming through the vents. Gates locking down like the airport turned into a fortress. But none of that mattered, because the danger wasn't outside the room. It was already walking toward it. Heavy footsteps, fast, unhinged. Slamming the floor like a wild animal set loose. Then, boom! The conference room door flew open, cracking against the wall so hard it almost fell off the hinges. There he was, Officer Brent Hawkins, still in cuffs, but one wrist free, shirt torn, face red, eyes wild, sweating so much he looked half drunk on rage, and in his free hand, a metal baton he must have ripped off a security belt. He pointed it at Darius, like he was staring down the devil himself. "You!" he screamed, voice echoing so loud the walls seemed to vibrate. "You ruined everything. My job, my reputation, my life." Two federal agents pulled their guns halfway, but Hawkins didn't flinch. "I ain't scared of your little badges," he spit. "I ain't scared of any of you. He's the one you should have cuffed." He jabbed the baton toward Darius. "That uniform ain't his. I know it. He's a fake, a fraud." Ugh, Darius stepped forward calmly. "I earned this uniform." Hawkins shook like he was possessed. "No, you didn't. People like you don't serve this country. You take from it. You ruin it. You walk around like you're somebody." Cole stepped between them. "That's enough, son. You're done. Just stop." Hawkins shoved him so violently, Cole stumbled back into a chair. "Don't you touch him!" Marissa screamed. Two agents lunged forward, but Darius raised his hand. "Stand down." Everyone froze. Rowan hissed under his breath. "Sergeant King, what the hell are you doing?" Darius stepped forward, closer, closer, until he was just 4 feet from Hawkins. "You want to finish this?" Darius asked, voice calm as a storm before impact. "Finish it with me." Hawkins snarled, like an animal. "That's exactly what I came here to do." He lunged, baton swinging, screaming, rage bursting out like broken glass. But Darius moved like a soldier trained to survive chaos. He sidestepped, grabbed Hawkins' wrist, snatched the baton right out of his hand, pinned him against the wall with one swift move so fast the entire room gasped. Hawkins shrieked, "Let go of me! Let go!" Darius leaned in, voice low and deadly calm. "For once in your life, shut up and listen." Hawkins froze. "You didn't see a fake soldier," Darius said. "You saw a black man who made it further in life than you ever will." The room went silent. "Your rage isn't about me. It's about the fact that I earned respect, and you couldn't force it out of a single person." Hawkins' breathing got shaky. His eyes darted like he was losing whatever grip on reality he had left. Darius stepped back and let the federal agents slam him to the ground and cuff him properly this time. But before they dragged him away, Hawkins screamed, "This ain't over. You're gonna pay. Someone like you doesn't get to." And that was it. Darius stepped forward and said, softly but firmly, "It is over." Hawkins' voice died in his throat. He was hauled out of the room like a piece of trash that finally got taken to the curb. As the door shut, the entire room exhaled like they had been holding their breath for an hour straight. Marissa looked at Darius, eyes shining with something between fury and pride. "You good?" she asked. Darius nodded once. Cole slapped him on the back. That's how a real soldier stands his ground. Agent Rowan put away his gun and straightened his tie. "Sergeant King, the Pentagon wants to issue a statement. The world is watching, and they want you to speak first." Darius looked at all of them. The agents, the colonel, the lawyer, the cameras, the truth. He took a deep breath and said, "Fine, let the world hear what a black soldier sounds like." Marissa smirked. "Oh, they're gonna hear it, loud and clear." Outside the room, the live stream hit 2,800,000 live viewers. The nation wasn't just watching anymore. It was waiting. Waiting for Darius King to speak. Waiting for justice. Waiting for truth. Waiting for the moment racism got punched in the mouth on camera. And that is where this story ends, with the whole world listening. And a black soldier finally being heard.